Now that we understand the concepts behind responsive design, let's actually code a responsive web page. This is where we take everything we've learned and apply it in practice. To build responsive web pages using the mobile-first approach, there are 3 key things we need. First, the meta viewport tag. This will tell the browser how to control the page's dimensions and scaling on different devices, especially mobile. Second, flexible media. This ensures that images and other content resize properly so they don't overflow or break the layout. And third, media query breakpoints. These are used at specific points where the layout needs to change to maintain usability as the screen size increases. Together, these elements allow us to create a web page that looks good and functions well on any device. Let me show you how we can build a responsive layout using the key elements for creating a responsive website. We'll be starting off with this particular website. I'm using elements that we have utilized in other lectures. These are our web cards. I'm linking out to a new style sheet. The HTML consists of a header with a figure and a fig caption, a main section that contains 3 articles, and all of the articles contain images, H2, H3, and 2 paragraphs. And then we have a footer. I've kept this fairly simple so that we can focus on making the site responsive. For the starting CSS, I'm using a universal selector to zero out padding and margin. I've set a font family on the body. On the header and the footer, I've set a background color and some padding. On the articles, I have a border radius. I'm using flex on the article itself, so these elements will stack vertically, which they do by default, but I wanted to make sure that the credit is always at the bottom of the card, regardless of the height. The other thing is I've given them a maximum width. I have some rules on the article, H2, H3, and paragraphs that just set some padding. And on the paragraph credit, which is this bottom one, I've set a background color, text line right, font style, border radius on the bottom so it matches the border radius on the card, and some padding and margin. What we're going to do is we are going to check this out at a small screen size and add any adjustments, and then we'll make the screen bigger and figure out what sort of modifications we want to add at larger screen sizes. So let's begin by making our site small. Now, in the past, we've just resized the browser window to see what it looks like at the various sizes. This is actually not the optimal way to check out your website in a mobile environment. The best thing to do is to open the developer tools, and they can be accessed by going to these 3 dots. In the contextual menu, you're going to want to select More Tools, and from here, there's a flyout menu, but there is an option for Developer Tools. When you open the developer tools, they will either dock on the bottom or sometimes on the right side of your window. You can change how they appear by going to the 3 dots and choosing where you want them to appear. So I'm going to place the developer tools on the right-hand side. Now that I've done that, I am able to see what my website looks like at different screen sizes. In order to mimic an actual device, you're going to click this little icon, Toggle Device Toolbar. And when you do that, your site is going to appear as it would at this size screen. So currently at 310 pixel width, this is what my site looks like. This is not optimal. I would prefer to at least have it look like this. So this is a problem. The reason we're having this problem is we're missing a very important component on our website. This goes in the HTML. So in the HTML, we need to add a new meta tag. This meta tag is called the meta viewport tag, and it allows us to ensure that our site actually is going to work in a responsive environment. So we're going to write meta, then we're going to use the attribute of name and assign viewport. Then we're going to make another attribute called content, and this needs to have a value of width equals device width. And then we're going to say comma initial dash scale equals 1.0. This is going to ensure that our website always appears at 100% by default. It's not going to shrink or scale. So if I simply add this and I save my web page and we come back here, I do want to point out that right now our site is shrinking. It's not appearing at 100%. So when I click the refresh button, you're going to see that now the site looks much better. This is how we would expect to see this site at a small screen. At this point, you'll want to dial in any CSS rules so that your site works at the small screen size. I generally don't worry about going much smaller than about 300 pixels. Obviously, we can make this much smaller, but most mobile devices are not going to display in this way. Granted, we maybe have a watch or something, but I don't think a lot of people are browsing the web on their watch. So minimum size of 300 is adequate. I'm going to go back into my CSS and I'm just going to make some subtle adjustments. We'll make a rule on our header figure element, and we're going to use text align center. This will simply center the logo and the tagline in the middle of the screen. Then I want to create some space between the header and the main section. So we are going to target main, and we're just going to add margin top. And actually, let's use shorthand and add some margin on the bottom as well. So we'll do margin of 20 pixels for the top and the bottom. And let's just add auto for the right and the left. That will center the content as a unit if there's enough room to do so. But now we have a little bit of space between the header and the main and the footer and main. The next thing I need to do is simply spread out my articles. I'll come to the article element and we're going to add a margin on the bottom of 15 pixels. This will just spread out our articles slightly so there's a little bit of space. The final thing that I probably want to do is create a tiny bit of space on the right and the left. I've mentioned before, I'm not a fan of the content going right to the edge of the browser window. So let's actually change this from margin bottom. We'll use shorthand and we'll set the margin on the top to 0. On the right and the left, we'll use 10 pixels and then we'll leave 15 pixels for the margin on the bottom. Now when I refresh, I just get a little bit of spacing on the right and the left, and I think that looks better. So this is what my website looks like at the small screen. Now we're ready to create a breakpoint. So I'm going to make my browser window bigger, and instead of trying to figure out a predetermined size to make the breakpoint, I just start to scale my layout up and see where the design starts to break. So obviously we currently have a maximum width of 380. After 380, we start to get this weird space right here, which in my opinion doesn't look super great. So we'll probably want to make a breakpoint somewhere around this size area. Let's just put it at maybe 460. I'm going to come to my CSS. We're going to make a media query. And to make a media query, we write @media. And then in parentheses, we're going to pass on our condition. So the condition that we want to use in a mobile first environment is min width. So then we're just going to plug in where we want this media query to occur. We just decided we wanted our breakpoint or our media query to occur at 460 pixels. After the closing parentheses, I'll open my curly braces, and then anything that I place inside of the media query, inside the curly braces here, will affect our page if it has a minimum width of 460. So what do we want to have happen here? Let's go ahead and let's make sure that our articles are going to be horizontally centered. In order to center this content, what we're going to do is we're going to target main, and we are going to turn on flex. So let's use display flex. If we just do this, it's going to try to place our items side by side, and this is not what we want. Right now we have horizontal scrolling. That is not working for us. So let's go ahead and let's use a flex direction of column, and then we'll use align items and we'll set that to center. If we save our page and we refresh, you can see that the cards are going to stack vertically, which looks fine, but now they're centered. So that looks a little bit better. And you can see that I can make my page larger or smaller, and that behavior is going to occur. Now, this isn't really something that we probably need to put in a media query. This behavior could just occur at our mobile first, at our small screen. So I'm going to cut that from the media query, and we'll just add it over here. And of course, because I have two selectors of main, I'm just going to combine these into one so that I'm not being redundant with my code. That's best practice. So now we haven't actually done anything in the media query. This is just how our website is going to work. At this point, I can probably allow the site to get a little bit bigger before we have to add our media query. So you just need to decide when that's going to occur. How wide can we actually start to display these cards in a 2-up or 3-up environment? And when will the user experience benefit from that change? And there isn't a set in stone answer. You as the developer are going to have to decide what this might be. So I think probably around 650, somewhere around that makes a little bit more sense. Let's go ahead and let's change our media query to 650, and then we'll change the layout. So we're going to do what we did in our web card example, where I'm going to target main, and you don't have to re-declare properties that you've already done. So at this point, we're going to just turn on flex wrap. We already have a display of flex. So I'm going to turn on flex wrap, and I'm going to change the flex direction. And that should take care of what we need to. So let's just go ahead and add flex wrap of wrap. That will allow the cards to appear on one line if they can. And we also need flex direction to be row. Remember, flex wrap will wrap subsequent cards to different lines if they need to. So at this point, if I refresh, we don't see a change at the 650. It looks like that doesn't actually occur till 704, which is fine because the website still kind of works. Actually, it looks like these jump over to the left. So maybe let's just figure out where that change occurs. It looks like it's around 695. We'll just update the media query to 695. And now we're going to have, at smaller screen sizes, one column. The main content is centered. And then once the layout is going to support multiple columns, this is going to kick in. Now, there are some things that we're going to have to adjust. You can see how this card on the right is kind of stepped down a little bit. That is a result of the margin that we had added to our articles. So we have a margin on the top and the bottom of 10 pixels. We no longer need that. So let's target our articles, and this is in the media query. We want these rules to be isolated to what's happening in the media query. And we'll just go ahead and set the margin to 0. In addition, I want a little bit of spacing horizontally between my cards. So I'll do that by adding the gap property to main. And now if I save and I refresh, you can see that that resolves the kind of step down situation. And this looks pretty good. If we continue to make our screen wide enough to support 3 columns, they will appear in 3 columns. And then the final thing that I probably want to do is just add a little bit of margin to main on the right and the left. We'll add margin of 10 pixels for the top and the bottom, and let's add 15 pixels for the right and the left. And now we should just get a little bit of indentation. That looks fantastic. And as you can see, this was pretty simple, but we've built a responsive website. So now we have a fully functioning responsive website. It appears in one column at the small screen size, and then as my screen gets bigger, this is maybe like a tablet size, this is what it's going to look like. Let's center this third article like we did in our web card exercise. We can do that by adding our justify content to main as well. So let's just do that. I'll set this to justify content center. And if we save and refresh, that is going to now be centered. So that looks pretty good at our mid-screen size. This would be like more of a tablet size. And then obviously once the web browser gets big enough to support all of these appearing in 3 columns, they're going to appear in 3 columns. And it looks like we have a little step down right here. So let's just investigate that real quickly. Because this middle web card is slightly shorter in regards to the content, you can see that this is shrinking. So let's go ahead and let's make sure that these are going to all be uniform in height. I'm going to come back to the media query, and on main, we're simply going to add align items, and we'll set this to stretch. And the last thing that we want to add is we want to make sure that our images are fully responsive and flexible. We should do that outside of the media query, just in case we do add images and we want them to be able to resize down. So I'll add my max width of 100% and a height of auto. This will ensure that the images can scale down. They will never get bigger than their original size, but they will be able to scale down if necessary. And that will ensure that they are fully responsive. Let's save our page and check this out in the browser. If we go ahead and refresh now, you can see how that's going to stretch and they're all the same height. At this point, if we reopen our developer tools and I make the site smaller, this is small screen, 1 column, it looks great. This is like a mid-size screen, so that would be a tablet, perhaps a laptop. And then once we get on the desktop, everything's going to appear like this. Our code is fairly simple. We don't have a lot of rules inside of the media query, and we just need one media query to make this work on very small screen sizes and very large screen sizes. This is your goal when you develop websites. You want to be as succinct as possible and as concise with your code, but you can see that we've improved the user experience for a variety of screen sizes.